I am in Mount Morgan, originally a mountain made of ironstone and shale. The site is now a huge open pit. Now Mount Morgan is about 38 kilometres southwest of Rockhampton and is situated in the D Ranges. It is known to be one of the world's richest gold mines in its day, later producing copper and silver. So I've decided to come out here today to, looks like there's a lookout over there, but I wonder if I can get up to that one. Now gold was discovered here in about 1882 and discovered by three brothers, Fred, Tom and Edwin. The mine then opened in 1883 as the Mount Morgan Gold Mining Company. In marvellous Mount Morgan is a not-so-quiet cottage for all us F-ups, if that's your fate. Mad Mount? Mad Mount. Mount Morgan's wild, not just a name, where the roos play footy and the locals claim fame. The pub's got beers older than me, and the blokes spin yarns like true God, I wrestled a tree. Up at the dam, kids bombing the pride, in with pride, while a goanna steals chips from the barbecue side. Busted arse utes, bush tracks, one dodgy sign, but the views from the top are flippin' divine. So come for the gold or just the crack, but don't feed the magpies, 'cause they will attack. In the foreground of the mine is the gold room. The north wing of this building formed part of the chlorination works constructed in 1884. Behind this is the general office. This building had 3 stages of construction and has served as both general office and accommodation quarters. Moving to the left, we see the main stack. Completed in 1905, this stack was originally constructed using 750,000 bricks. Left of the stack are the mounds of tailings, all that remain of the vast quantity of rock and earth dug from the mine, then discarded after precious ore was removed. Once there were bush, gullies and gently flowing creeks, all favourite haunts for the Mount Morgan kids. About 325 metres deep, which is kind of sad really. It's ruined a hill, a perfectly good hill. Whoa. Holy sh**. Can I get up there? It's a little nerve-wracking by car. I'd much rather walk up the hill, I think. Phew, the hill was a bit steep. Now the peak operation of the mine was from the late 1800s to the mid 1900s. I'm not that comfortable driving my car up some of those roads. That road doesn't look so bad. The bit I just walked up was the worst bit. Around 262 tonnes of gold, 37 tonnes of silver and 387,000 tonnes of copper were all extracted from this site. It was once called the richest single hill in the world. It's certainly left a rather large hole in the ground now, hasn't it? The original mine was underground and later converted to open cut mining. Operations continued under various owners until 1981, when the mining finally ceased. Now apparently Mount Morgan was a centre for mining innovation. They introduced cyanide treatment of ore in 1936 and later used froth flotation to extract copper from tailings. So that was originally a small mountain of ironstone and shale containing gold. Now to get down this hill that I wouldn't drive up. Sadly, the mining has left behind acid mine drainage and heavy metal pollution. The open pit lake's vivid colour is caused by iron and copper sulfate minerals. Rehabilitation involves neutralising the acidic water and reprocessing tailings for residual gold. Now taking a walk up Mount Morgan's main street, this once pulsed with the life of a thriving gold rush town. During the late 1800s, it was lined with grand hotels, bustling shops and civic buildings that reflected the wealth drawn from the famous mine. The high point of development in this area was the establishment of the Technical College in 1908, becoming the first state high school in 1912. The Cutter statue in Mount Morgan honours the timber men of the 1880s who cut and hauled massive logs to feed the gold mine's hungry furnaces, a tribute to their strength and grit that built the town's prosperity back in the day. Running the Cutter. The running of the Cutter statue pays tribute to a local tradition that began at the Mount Morgan mine in 1900. Time capsule. Placed in 1982 to be opened in 2082. This 5-metre arbor sculpture stands pride of place as a tribute to Mount Morgan, its incredible history and some of its inspirational residents. Mafeking Bell. This bell was casted in 1900 from pennies donated by Mount Morgan schoolchildren to commemorate the relief of Mafeking. Built in 1890, Mount Morgan's post office remains an important symbol of the town's golden era, a vital hub that would have once connected miners and families to the outside world during the height of the gold rush. This building was built in 1899. The tower on top of the building was used as a lookout during World War II to spot enemy planes. The building is now a private residence. Now apparently, this place is haunted. No, this isn't the haunted building, it's up the other end of the street. So that was a quick wander up the main street of Mount Morgan. Oh, it's always nice to find a breeze and some shade. Walking back up Morgan Street, you can't help but notice the colour-painted rocks. This version of Mount Morgan School of Arts was built in 1924 after two fires. The size and scale of the building reflects the town's prosperity during those gold mine years. The Grand Hotel on Mount Morgan was built in 1898. The tower, a decorative roof turret, is mainly ornamental rather than serving any real functional purpose like a lookout or clock tower. Do not swing bridge. 60 persons maximum at any time. Ooh, it's pretty bouncy. So this bridge was made for the miners who walked across it to get to work. With all the health and safety, surely it wouldn't be open if it was unsafe, right? Now I'll look back across it again. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to Tipperary. Isn't there a song that goes like that? Mount Morgan suspension bridges. The Dee River's meandering course to the centre of Mount Morgan past the mine into the Don River further upstream has provided problems in times of flood. Mount Morgan's settlement pattern was sprawled out on both sides of the river, and this meant that entire settlements were cut off from supplies when the river flooded. In the 1890s, 6 suspension bridges were constructed at strategic locations across the river. Number 1. Upper Dee Suspension Bridge spanned from Burns Parade to River Street but washed away during fierce flooding in 1928. You can see there are still remnants here of its original foundations, marking where the bridge's towers once stood. These stone and concrete bases remind us of the town's late 1800s engineering and transport history, highlighting the importance of river crossings for the area's mining and community development. Now there's a few different versions on how Mount Morgan came to discover gold. One of them is 3 Morgan brothers, Fred, Thomas and Edwin. Another version, the wife's discovery. I think I might like this one. Local folklore says that Mary Morgan, the wife of one of the brothers, she deserves the credit. While washing clothes in the creek, she saw shiny specks in the sand and showed her husband. The brothers investigated, realised it was gold, and followed the creek upstream to its source, the hill that became Mount Morgan. The version gives a woman a starring role in the story, rare in the 1880s. I think this one might be more believable though, don't you? Ooh, gross. Looks like this was an old water tank. The Mount Morgan Railway Station Museum is housed in the town's former railway station, built in 1898. The station was central to transporting ore from the Mount Morgan mine and connecting the town to Rockhampton. Today, the building has been converted into a museum showcasing historical photographs, railway memorabilia, and mining artefacts. Gold makes up only 5/10 millions of the Earth's outer layer. However, incredible quantities of this precious metal has been mined on Queensland's Tropic of Capricorn. Today, what was once a large mountain is now one of the largest artificial holes on Earth. Now, the railway station, this specially designed track allowed rail traverse up and over steep Razorback, giving connection from the busy river port of Rockhampton to the booming mining town. The 2-kilometre section of rack rail operated between 1898 and 1952 and was one of only 2 rail lines of this type in the country. Mount Morgan's railway station was opened in 1898 and continued to operate until 1987. How it worked in operation: trains left Rockhampton with normal engines. At the base of the range, Morgan Station, they attached a rack locomotive to the front or the rear. The rack engine engaged its cogwheel onto the centre rail and pushed or pulled the train up a slope of about 8 to 10 kilometres per hour. Once over the summit, it disengaged and a normal engine continued to Mount Morgan. Coming down, the rack gear acted as a brake, controlling the descent safely. Locals said the train sounded like it was a growling beast. You could hear the rack engine's grinding echo across the valley. This image shows an old historic water tank. The tank was originally used to service old steam trains. And that is Mount Morgan, once a booming, thriving gold mining town in its day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Remember, like and subscribe. Your subscription really helps the channel. See you next time.